everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have something really exciting to share with you. I recently got this ATEZR diode laser. So I've had a previous laser and it was 5 watts. This one's 24 watts. So it is definitely a game changer in my shop. So I'm going to go through this whole thing and share my experience. I've been cutting and marking everything I can imagine. So stick around and we're gonna get into everything that this can do and how it can help you out in your shop. One of the first things I want to cover is the build quality. This thing, it is very robust, but it also, you get what you pay for. You know, some of these diode lasers you're gonna pick up under $400. This is not one of those, okay? This is at the higher end of the you assemble it class of lasers. Also, it comes with an air assist, miniature air compressor. It has autofocus, so you can literally in Lightburn just click autofocus and it will go down and it will focus for you, so you don't have to dink around, you know, with a focus. If you choose to manually focus it, it has this really nice wheel here that you can dial super precisely. It's not like the screw you loosen, you drop the head down and you tighten the screw. Those days are gone with this laser. Also, this thing has actual linear rails. It's not just a plastic wheel riding in a T-slot. This Z-axis, if you take this cover off during the assembly process, actually has a miniature linear rail. These also are on rails in this axis as well. They're not the linear rails, they are the round, like the round precision rods. But you have an immense amount of rigidity. The repeatability, the circles are actually round. Some of these smaller, cheaper, lighter duty lasers out there, your holes, you know, when you make a circle, you can see that they're not 100% round. That's not the case with this. This is rigid, and because of that rigidity, it has a whole nother level of accuracy. Another thing, another big benefit of that rigidity is your speeds. You can move a lot faster. Before I had this laser, like I said, I had a 5-watt laser, and I was really excited about that one too because it was my very first laser. I was marking as much as I could, but I found the limits of a 5-watt laser really fast, right? So you want to mark metal? Not so much. Is it possible? Kind of, if the planets align just perfectly. Where this one, I mean, you can just burn right into the metal, and if you turn it down and make it go slow, you can tell it to go as many passes as you want, and you can really burn and have a really nice etch into metal. In this video, stick around, I cut through this stuff, I engrave steel, we test acrylic, the whole 9 yards. So I just wanted to cover the overall quality. And some of you guys who don't know, as my day job, I'm a professional machine designer. I've been designing products for 18 years. So when I look at a product like this, I'm looking at it from a professional designer standpoint. I design industrial automation for a living. YouTube is just something I do for fun. So when I'm analyzing this, I'm giving you a professional point of view on how it's constructed. And I would say, based on that, this is exponentially beefier and more rigid than my previous 5-watt laser. And I really like the attention to detail. Areas where they could have just gone square, they used angles, they radius the corners. It's just, everything about it is nice, it's sleek, it's designed very well, and I appreciate the little things that they did to create this product. You can see it's packaged very nicely. They've got information here on the software. This kind of looks like a Lightburn. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll get into the software later. Nice user's guide. You can see that everything is tacked very nicely. So right off the bat, I'm just going to put this out there that these axes are much beefier than my system. And all the belts are already on, so I don't have to mess with the belts. I'm a little excited about that. These bags, look at this. We got step 1. So as you go through the book, which is really nice, it has really good instructions, step-by-step instructions on how to put everything together. And when you get to specific steps, there's a bag of stuff to go with it, all very nicely labeled. So yeah, I think this is going to be a breeze to put together. Also, check this out. This is beefy. That's autofocus. I do like how the air routes out to the top. Also, the airlines are all pre-plumbed through the axis here. It has a motorized Z-axis. This is something that's really cool. So I've got it all put together. Probably took about an hour. That's a long estimate. And the beautiful thing about this is it is extremely rigid for a DIY laser. If you look at this, they've got 4 screws. And the way these things are cut, they're bolted from this side and this side, so they square themselves up. You see that? They square themselves up by themselves. You don't have to attach the belts. All the belts are already attached. All the wires are managed very nicely. You can see they go down through the actual axis, so they're not just flopping all around. This head is so beefy. It also has a laser pointer, which we'll get into that, and a motorized Z. That's the big thing I'm excited about trying out. Anyways, oh, also the screen here is magnetic, so you just pop that on there, and I'm pretty sure this has a way where you can actually do stuff without like a touch screen. So I'm pretty sure you don't even need a laptop to run this. I, of course, am going to use Lightburn because in my mind, that's a lot more capable than, you know, what you're going to be able to do on that little screen. So yeah, looks like this is Lightburn ready. So here's a quick look at my other laser. And you're going to notice a really big difference in the size and the beefiness of this guy. And this is very typical of a lot of the lasers that you get. But this is not an apples to apples comparison. And I'm not going to say which laser this is because it's not a bad laser. And I'm also, you know, this video isn't about this laser, but this is just a comparison. You know, something like this is probably in the $400 range. And so you get what you pay for. And I thought this laser was super great. I loved it. You can see it etches just fine. It's 5 watts. But a lot of the things that I wanted to do with this laser, I just can't do at 5 watts. And in order to focus this, you just loosen the nut and you put a piece of acrylic underneath, which is fine. It gets the job done. But being able to autofocus is really nice. And I mean, this really isn't supported a ton. And it doesn't have linear rails. It just has wheels. So accuracy isn't the greatest with this. But like I said, this is really great for what you pay for it. All right, and here you can see the sheer beef of this system compared to the one that was just on this table. On top of that, you have a laser pointer with a crosshair, and you have an autofocus assembly, which is really, really nice. This is not just plastic wheels in a T-slotted groove, guys. This is actual precise precision. And the sheer size and thickness of these, the rigidity is 10 times that of
these $400 systems. Now, this is not a $400 system. You are going to pay more for this, but you are going to get exponentially more for your buck. So here in a little bit, we're actually going to fire this thing up. I'm going to show you a little bit of what it can do. And overall, I am all thumbs up when it comes to this machine. I feel like the build quality was the most impressive. That's the one thing that impressed me the most. And it came with an air assist. Now, pretty much, you're going to have air assist over 20 watts if you really want to maximize its potential. And this comes with it. It's not something I had to buy extra. And you won't have to pay extra either. I think on this model, it's just part of it. They also make this in like a 36 watt, which is really, really nice as well. All right, let's fire this thing up and see what it can do. All right, so they've got this app. It's kind of cool. Photo. So let's say I want to take a photo. Accept. And then I can go to sketch, turn down the brightness, and look at that. It's gonna engrave a really cool sketch, right? I'm like, oh, sweet. So we hit next, and then you can adjust the size, the power, the speed, and hit next. Oh, it made a G code. Upload failed. So basically, I've tried like 100 times. I've reinstalled the app. I've restarted the machine. And at some point, I get an error every time. And it's not always at the same place. It's random different spot. I have discovered exactly how to set this offset. Inside Lightburn, there is a pointer offset. And if you type in the correct distance from actual 0 to that point, then you basically line your material up here, and it's the same as if you had your actual center there. So when you hit cut from absolute, this is basically your 0. So that's a really cool feature. Anyways, let's go ahead and cut this part out. So we've got some of it as one color and another as another color. So there we go. Let's go ahead and hit start. Oh, so I should have changed the order because it looks like it's gonna cut the part out first. Now that's probably okay. In the plasma world, I always do the internal cuts, then I actually cut the part free. That way it doesn't move, but it's not gonna move. So right now I'm cutting through, hopefully. This is 1/8 inch MDF, I think. Medium draft board. This is what I'm cutting. You guys might be able to click on that. I don't know. I got this at Michael's. You can see the smoke. Let me back up. So you definitely want to have your garage door open. You can see all the smoke coming off here. And I do have the compressor turned all the way up. And so it's going to cut all the way through first. And to cut through this, my settings are 400 millimeters per minute and 100% power, and that's a single pass for cutting through. Here in a second, it's going to finish that, and it's going to kick into the blue lines, which is like the shingles, and those are 6,000 millimeters per minute at 100% power, and the air is turned on. So as what we're building here is a little fairy house for my daughter. So I may have some lines stacked on top of lines just because I modified this geometry in AutoCAD, which I'm very, that's weird. So it made the line, and it's going to go back to the beginning to make the next line. It should, I'm not sure. I've got a setting wrong because I would like it to just go back and forth, but I don't care. It might be how I drew it. But yeah, I could probably cut this way faster. I'm getting a lot of penetration. And these are just the shingles. But that's actually perfect. I'm going to cut some small lines. Lines and it's going to be all done. There we go. So this is our roof. You want to pull that out, Anna? We'll see if I cut all the way through. The moment of truth. Yeah, just slide it out and see if you can pop it out. Did it? Oh yeah, it cut all the way through. Yep. So beautiful. That is one side of the fairy house roof. Nice. There you go. And then put the roof on. It's a little bit complicated. Beautiful, look at that. Just sticks together perfectly. No clearance was needed. There it is. What do you think? That's pretty cool. You can paint it or whatever. She's gonna decorate it. Happy customer? All right. Okay, so I tried to cut some acrylic. I got my son's name on a piece there. And you can see here, William Alexander Beck, it cut all the way through. Well, it didn't cut through. It shone through, and it etched it into the table below. And as it was cutting, I was getting a lot of like chunks exploding off. So, I mean, you can see it definitely etched it. So I don't know about acrylic. We're gonna try some high power cuts now to see if we can cut through some thick stuff. I did try to cut through acrylic. I turned it way down as far as the speed and maxed out the power. Did like 6 circles. I could not cut through this 1/8 inch acrylic. So maybe the color matters, but as far as this goes, I could not cut through it. So
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And if you found this video valuable, please give me a thumbs up. It will really help my channel, and it helps me out in the YouTube algorithm so other people can see this review as well. Also, if you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a video that I post. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate you guys. You're the best.